Hey, what's going on? Sergeant Gonzo Boogie here again, back for another DVD video. This is actually my first video of 2015, and to kick things off, I figured I would show you guys my entire David Cronenberg collection. And David Cronenberg is actually one of my favorite directors. I just love all of his movies. He has a very dark, abstract, like surrealistic style that I just connect to really well, and every movie that I've seen from him so far I've just loved. So this is a video I've been wanting to do for a while, so I'm excited to finally get around to doing this. So I figure I'll just get started here. I'm going to start with the DVDs. And first off, I have The Brood. This is actually the earliest David Cronenberg film I have. I need to get some more of his 70s movies, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But this one is actually the only one in my collection too that I haven't seen yet. I got this for a Christmas gift, and I just haven't gotten around to watching it yet, but it sounds awesome. I mean, it's got Oliver Reed in it, and he's a great actor, and of course, David Cronenberg. So I'm just expecting this to be a great film. From what I've read about this, it has something to do with like little kids that kill people for some reason. Like I said, I've never seen it before, but really looking forward to checking this one out. Sounds awesome. And this DVD is actually kind of hard to come by. It's out of print right now, and I've seen it go on eBay and Amazon.com for a pretty good amount of money. Seen it brand new for like 20 to like 50 bucks. And I've also seen it used anywhere from like 10 to 25, so that's a little bit pricey for a used DVD. But I'm glad I finally got this one and looking forward to checking it out. Next up is Scanners, which is David Cronenberg's first 80s film. Just a great film, very surrealistic and crazy, just awesome. Love the story for this one. It's about like a group of people whose mothers were fed this, given this pill for something to do with pregnancy. I forgot about it. But the babies were actually born with a defect, which gives them this like scanning power, where they can read people's minds and they can do other things with this power. And the classic scenes in this movie are like scan battles, where people are just like staring at each other, and with the power of staring at someone and concentrate on them, it like shoots them across the room. There's like sequels to this. I actually have them all on VHS, which I'll get around to towards the end of this video. But just a really fun and interesting movie, and I would also recommend watching the sequels too. They're not as good as the first one, and they don't have any involvement with David Cronenberg, but they're still fun to watch. Scanners. Next up is actually my favorite David Cronenberg film, Videodrome, and I just love everything about this movie. It stars James Woods and Debbie Harry. Debbie Harry is like better known for being the singer in the band Blondie, and this is her best movie role. I'm actually a huge Debbie Harry fan too. I have all of her Blondie CDs and solo albums, and I like to collect the movies that she's acted in too. And out of all her movies, this is just the best one. It was really the only one that they really gave her a chance to like be in a good movie or have an actual good role. Even though her role is very abstract and weird in this movie, she still, I think, does a great job. And this is just a really cool movie, hard to explain. I've always wanted to do a movie review on this, but the story is so non-linear, and I just feel like it would be really hard to do a movie review on this. But I love the story for this. It's almost hard for me to explain why I love this movie so much, but it just really works for me. I think it's David Cronenberg's masterpiece. Just out of all the movies I've seen from him, this is my favorite to watch. And usually when I watch this, I find myself like locked in to it, and I usually watch it 2 times in a row. It's one of the only movies I do that with. But it's like when I'm done watching this, there's like no other movie that I want to watch except this again. I love everything about this, and I don't want to be rambling on too much about it, but highly recommend it in my book. One of my favorite movies ever made. And I also have the 2-disc Criterion edition of this movie, and this is an awesome edition. I love the cover artwork there, and the artwork on the DVD itself is really cool. It's made to look like a Betamax tape, which like VHS and tape in general is like like video recording is like important to the story of the movie. So it's just really cool that they did this. I think it's awesome. It came with an awesome insert too, and of course 2-disc collector set. So this is probably one of my favorite DVDs I own right here. Alright, next up is The Dead Zone, which I love this movie. This is actually one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations. I've never read the book, but since I love this movie so much, I would love to read the book. But this movie is about Christopher Walken's character. He gets in a car accident and he's put in a coma, I think for like 5 years, something like that. And when he wakes up, he has these special powers that if he like touches you or like grabs onto your hand or anything like that, he can see into your life in some way. And it just, the movie like builds up, and it just has an epic ending to it. I would highly recommend this. This is one of my favorite David Cronenberg movies too. Probably my third favorite. Alright, next up is The Fly, and I have a couple packs for The Fly. The first one is this single disc pack. Came with a nice insert and everything. And I found this at like a dollar store type store for it was like $4 or $5. It was like Dollar General or something like that. So I felt like I couldn't pass on this. I just think this is a really nice 2-pack. I love the David Cronenberg Fly movie. I actually like it more than the original with Vincent Price, which rarely happens with me. I always like the original movies more most of the time. But I just think this is a great remake. He took an awesome science fiction story and modernized it for the 80s and just did a fantastic job. One of the best remakes ever. I would put this up there with Scarface and John Carpenter's The Thing. It's just some of the best remakes ever, which all three of those came out of the 80s. So the 80s was just great for movies in general. And this also comes with the sequel, The Fly 2, which I think is pretty good, but it's just a depressing mess in my opinion. I like to watch the movie. Has a couple actors in it that I like and actresses, but I just think the movie is so depressing and sad. I almost like never want to watch it, but whenever I watch The Fly, I like to follow it up with its sequel. I like how some of David Cronenberg's movies randomly have sequels. I've always like joked with my friends that I would love to make a Videodrome 2. Just call it Videodrome 2, like real cheesy like that. But you know, don't have the money to do anything crazy like that right now. And I also have this Fly 2-pack, which I think is really cool. I've like never really seen this too much on the internet or anything, so when I spotted this out at FYE, I had to pick it up. And this is actually a 2-pack. It comes with the 1-disc versions of both of these movies, which the artwork is the same as the 2-disc releases. But this is just a really nice pack. I love the way it's set up. It's got both films separate inside. And I just like that. I just think it's a nice, simple little pack. Just really cool. I love little packs like this. Like 2 packs with like a box set around them. I just think they look really nice on the shelf and they're just awesome to collect. And next up is Naked Lunch. And this is actually the Criterion edition, approved by David Cronenberg himself. And this is an awesome movie too, based on the William S. Burroughs novel, Naked Lunch. And the writer, William S. Burroughs, actually likes this movie from what I've read in the booklet. It seems like he really liked what David Cronenberg did with the story and everything, which is rare because usually when an author's book gets adapted into a movie, the author's not usually too big of a fan. I know so many Stephen King movies have been adapted but I know when Stanley Kubrick did The Shining, Stephen King was like kind of iffy about it. I've read early interviews where Stephen King was like liked the movie, but then I've read later things that he didn't like, that Kubrick took so many liberties with his story and changed up so many things. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure William S. Burroughs approved of this movie, and it's just a awesome movie. It's based on the book Naked Lunch, but it's also sort of based on the actual life of William S. Burroughs around the time he was writing the book. It like intertwines both, and it's just the book itself is very abstract book. There's a lot going on in it, and it has a lot to do with drugs and sex and just that type of stuff, like drug addiction and everything. And it's just a hard book to adapt. I can't even imagine trying to adapt something like that. And in my opinion, David Cronenberg did a great job. This is just right up there with some of his best movies, like The Fly and Videodrome. Just another great film from Cronenberg. This is the really nice 2-disc edition of this, so really happy I have that. And this is the last for the DVDs, which is A History of Violence, which is the most recent Cronenberg film I have. And this is pretty good. It's about like a guy who, you know, it starts off where it seems like he's just a regular guy with his family and all that, but then later you find out that his past is catching up with him. He used to be in like the mob and everything, and I don't want to ruin anything more than that, but it's a pretty good movie. I would definitely recommend this one to, you know, Cronenberg fans if you haven't seen this or haven't checked out any of his newer movies. So that was it for the DVDs, but next up I was going to show you guys the David Cronenberg VHSs I have. Right, and first off here we have Scanners, which is a nice MGM tape, Movie Time. I'm not sure why it says that at the top, but it's a nice, you know, VHS. The quality on this is really good. Watched it before, and you know exactly what I said about the movie before. I definitely think this is a great movie. And I have all the sequels on tape. Scanners 2, which I would recommend this one for being a straight-to-video sequel to Scanners. I actually think this is a decent cheesy sci-fi movie. It like sort of it takes the ideas from the first Scanners and does its own thing with it. Like there's this drug that if you take it makes the scans go away, but it's highly addictive. So there's a whole subplot about that, and I think this is a pretty good movie. I would recommend this. Scanners 2, The New Order. And next up is Scanners 3, The Takeover. And I have to admit, I did not think this was that good. Especially compared to the second one, I thought was a lot better than this. There's like this girl in this movie who you can kind of see her here. She has like this weird red like leotard thing on, and she's sort of our main character. And it starts out where she's like kind of a nice person and everything. She seems like a good person, and she's a scanner, and her father is like a, you know, working, like he's a doctor, scientist working on the drug for scanners to take so the scans go away. And she takes this like experimental drug that hasn't been tested yet, and it makes her scans go away, but it makes it so her scans aren't so bad. Like she's not constantly getting information from other people, but she still has her scanning powers, and it makes her kind of go crazy. She like uses her power to try to like sort of take over the world. It's just, I almost think the story is kind of lame, and the movie wasn't that good. But Scanners 3. And next up is Scanner Cop, and I actually really liked this one. I would actually say this is probably the best Scanner sequel. It's about a cop who happens to have scanner powers, so it works with that. It works with that too as a plot, but it's also got a couple pretty cool subplots in this, and the effects are really nice in this movie. Some really cool stuff right there, and I just thought this was really good. And last up is actually Scanners The Showdown, or Scanner Cop 2, which is also known as, and I've actually never seen this one, but since it's sort of a sequel to Scanner Cop 2, I'm looking forward to checking this out. But when I was watching the Scanner sequels, I just sort of lost interest around the Scanner Cop, so I just never got around to checking this one out. But I am looking forward to checking this one out. I think it's actually one of the best box arts out of all these Scanner sequel tapes. I just think the cover is really interesting. And I know these are kind of hard to find on DVD in the US, all these sequels, but most of them you can get cheap releases from Canada. So I one day I hope to do that, get some of the Canadian imports of these. And alright, just got a few more tapes here. Videodrome on tape, which I was really excited to get this on tape. Like, if you've never seen the movie, like I said before, like videotape and Betamax tape have a lot to do with the plot of this, so I've always wanted to get this movie on VHS. I would love to get it on Betamax, but I don't think it exists. I've looked for it on every website you can look for stuff like that, and I've never seen a Videodrome Betamax tape, so that's a shame they never did that. But this is still just as cool in my opinion. And again, I think David Cronenberg's best film. Highly recommend this one. Then I have The Fly, Jeff Goldblum. This is the CBS Fox edition. Really nice looking tape here. I love these CBS Fox tapes. One day I actually want to do a video where I just show my collection of CBS Fox tapes. They all have this uniform look to them, and I just think they're really nice. Just a great film here. Nice tape too. And then last for my VHS, and my David Cronenberg VHS collection, and last for the video is Naked Lunch on tape. And this tape is a little bit beat up. I got it at a thrift store for like $1, but this was before I had the DVD, so I picked it up anyways just to check it out. The quality on the tape wasn't that bad. I was able to watch the movie all the way through, but I'm glad that I had the Criterion edition now. But just a nice looking tape. I actually wish that I had this in better condition because I love the cover art and everything on this. Alright, so that was the David Cronenberg collection. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up or leave a comment, and thanks for watching.